Hi folks, Mr. Long here. This is a screencast. So in a screencast what happens is that I go through a question, I explain what I'm doing. You can pause it at any time. If you don't understand, go back and rewind it and make notes as you see fit. I really think you need a calculator in your hand to carry out the same calculations that I'm carrying out. That will help a great deal. So here we go. So we're going to go ahead and do this. Now, one of the things that may seem strange here is you're going to notice this right here says plus a negative 3x. That's because of the way the spreadsheet works. That's what it looks like. But what you need to interpret that as is just a minus sign. So really what we're working with is y equals negative 2x squared minus 3x plus 14. So the strategy is the same no matter what. We have to figure out the x value of the vertex, then we have to figure out the y value of the vertex, then we have to figure out delta x, and finally we figure out x1 and x2, which are the x-intercepts. Okay, so it's our standard process for graphing, and we're going to go through that. Things that we know about this one, we know that the y-intercept is 14. We know that if you look right there, there's a negative, so it's frowning. So it could be something like this, or it could be, the vertex could be to the left or to the right. I don't know for sure, but I do know that it frowns and that it goes through 14. Okay, so let's take a look at this and go through and do it. And I'm just going to go to the next page to do that. So let's let's look first at getting the x value of the vertex. So here's our equation. We know that the vertex, the x value of the vertex for negative 2x squared minus 3x is exactly the same. So in other words, this right here has the exact same x value of the vertex as this. And it's a lot easier to find this one right here. So let's go ahead and do that. So what I do is y equals, and I'm going to break that down into x times x minus 3 times x. I've got a common factor of x, which I pull out to the front, and then I'm left with negative 2x minus 3 inside the brackets. I need to set that equal to 0 because at the x-intercept the y value is worth 0, right? So it's going to look like this. I'm going to have that point and that point, and then the x value of the vertex is going to be right in the middle. So either x equals 0 or negative 2x minus 3 equals 0. To that I have to add 3. So I'm going to have negative 2x equals positive 3. And then I'm going to divide by negative 2. X is going to equal negative 1.5. Okay, so those are my two x-intercepts for the simple version, which is this one here. So it's going to be the x-intercepts for that right there. Okay, and now I need to get the middle. So the x value of the vertex for that is, there's negative 1.5, there's 0, so I have to take negative 1.5 and divide it by 2. So the xv is negative 0.75. Okay, negative 0.75. That's the x value of the vertex. So now we're going to go on to the next page here. So I know the x value of the vertex is negative 0.75. Now I can draw a sketch over here. So I know that's at negative 0.75. It's not a very good 5, is it? Negative 0.75. I know that the vertex is going to be up here because it's frowning, right? It's going to be something like that. Okay. And now what I need to do is I need to figure out that delta x and delta y. So the first thing I need to do is get the y value of the vertex, though, before I can do that. So I know that y, value of the vertex, now I substitute in negative 0.75 everywhere where I saw x. Negative 2, negative 0.75 squared, minus 3 times 0.75 plus 14. And I put that in my calculator exactly as I see it. You should do this as well. And the y value of the vertex works out to 15.125. So, now what's interesting about this is that delta y in this case is actually going to be negative. So I'm going to the right and I'm going down. So that's rise over run, the delta y is negative. So it's actually going to equal negative 15.125. Okay, negative 15.125, because I'm moving down towards the x-intercept. So let's use our formula. Delta y equals a delta x squared. Delta y is negative 15.125, and that equals 2 bracket, or sorry, negative 2 bracket delta x squared. So I have to divide both sides by negative 2. And so what is 15.125 divided by negative 2? It is 7.5625 equals delta x squared. Now I normally would say go to, oh, by the way, that was divided by negative 2. Now we need to square root. And then that means that I'm going to get the square root, which I need to get the square root of 7.5625, which will be 2.75. Okay, so about 2.75. Let's write that down. Delta x equals 2.75. But again, you can go to one decimal place, okay? You don't have to do this. So it's 2.75 is delta x. Okay, so I'm going to go to the next page, draw the sketch, and add items on. So here's what our sketch looks like. Negative 0.75. This is 15.125. Again, you just show one decimal place. I'm just showing all of them, well, because I'm a teacher. Okay, there's that. I know that, so I'll highlight in red my delta x and delta y. I know that delta x equals 2.75, and there's my xv. So that means this one here, x1, is going to be negative 0.75 and to the left. So it's going to be negative 0.75 minus 2.75, which is going to equal negative 3.5. That's x1. x2 is going to be negative 0.75 plus 2.75, right? So now I'm going this way. So, and that works out to 2. Okay, so those are our two x-intercepts. Right here is negative 3.5. That's the one that's right here. This one here is 2. The y-intercept is 14. And the vertex is right there, which is at negative. The vertex ordered pair is at negative 0.75, comma, 15.125. So let me, again, go through that process. So I'm going to take this here and make sure that shows that's all out of the way. So there's x1, folks. I start at the vertex of negative 0.75 and I go to the left minus 2.75 delta x. That gets me over to right here, right? Right there. So, or over, I can think of it this way, from here to here. Then to get x2, I again start at x equals negative 0.75 and I go to the right by 2.75. I add those together, I get 2. So those are my x-intercepts. There's x1, there's x2. It's opening down, and the vertex is at negative 0.75 and 15.125. And then the y-intercept is 14. I have every key feature there. The big difference with this is that your delta y here is negative, and your a value is negative. And when you go to get delta x. So that's it, folks. I hope that helped. Then you go back and make sure you finish the questions, and I'll resend those again as well. Hey, have a great day.